You look them in the eye. Even if you've got red eyes like me, you look them straight in the eye when they're talking to you, because if you're not sleeping at night, you're going to see that the toilet is dirty. Now I have to clean a dirty toilet.
Jesus is Lord!
Washing them and showering them at 6 in the morning because you want to help their staff. That is termed abuse. It is abuse. I felt like, oh, you've crossed the line. So I got pissed off. Guys. I did not deny or shout or anything. I've apologized and acknowledged that there's a problem, and I've said. There I was, seated in the manager's office. The manager was looking me in the eyes and she was waiting for an explanation. She wanted to find out what is it that I meant by saying that, and that was the moment I realized that, you know what, when I came here to UK, I packed everything. I packed my igusi, I packed my omala, I packed my crayfish and all that. But I did not pack this one very important thing that we are all supposed to pack regardless of where we're coming from. Whether you're coming from India, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Nepal, you need to pack this one important thing, which I'm going to be talking about in today's video. If you are new to my channel, my name is Pauline Popomoyo, and this is the channel where we keep things real. And welcome to yet another episode of Life in the UK, the Uncut, where I share with you my life here in the UK, the good, the bad, the bizarre, the funny, everything that you need to know about life here in UK. And there are lessons to be learned there. If you're interested in relocating to overseas or knowing about life here in the UK, kindly subscribe to my channel because I share content like that in this channel. Turn on the notification bell so that you never miss any of my videos, and I can assure you, you will not regret it. So without wasting any of your time, let's get into it. So guys, here in the UK, I work as a night nurse, and I've been working as a night nurse for the past 4.5 years. So most of the time people think that night nurses don't do anything at night. I've heard people saying, oh, people just go on night shift to go and sleep, but there's a whole lot of things which happen at night. I mean, when you're a night nurse, I can be alone with 2 carers and 35 residents, and all those 35 residents, their lives are in my hands. Anything happens to them, they come and report to me, and I'm supposed to see and to know what to do. I have all the responsibilities on my shoulder. I'm responsible over the care assistants, and I'm responsible over all the residents at night. It's unlike day shift, whereby if there's a problem that I cannot manage, I'm going to go to the manager's office, I'm going to go to the deputy manager, I'm going to go to the other nurse and say, please help me with this. I'm by myself and I'm responsible for everything. Every person's life is in my hands. Besides, the night was meant for sleeping. Do you know that working as a night shift nurse, you shorten your life? That is research. That is not me, that is research. Your lifespan is reduced as a nurse, and you are at high risk of many diseases, including the cardiovascular diseases. Anyway, that's not the topic for today. So initially when I came here, I thought the thing which was of paramount importance was to make sure that my residents are all sleeping, they're in bed, they're safe and secure, they're breathing and everything, because most of the time people die at night. For some strange reason, most of the time people die at night. So I used to make it a point that I check. Initially I used to check even every 30 minutes to make sure that everyone is alive, is breathing, safe and sound. They even had to report me that I thought too much during the night. So on this particular day, before I dive to this particular day, when you're working night shift, it's not only the residents that you're supposed to be checking, guys. You also check their environment. Is their environment safe, clean and secure? You check things like the fire doors. Are they all closed and are there no obstructions? In case there's a fire, you don't want the exit to be obstructed. You check all the kitchen appliances. Are they off and everything, so that they don't trigger a fire? By right, you're not supposed to be operating any machinery, like, because I see in some care homes they use washing machines and they use dryers during the night. By right, you're not supposed to be switching on any machinery, because the washing machine and the dryers, sometimes they trigger a fire, and it's very difficult to move people to a secure place, especially during the night, because the number of staff are limited. Sometimes I can work in a place where it's just me and the care assistant in the whole building, and it's just the two of us with 22 residents or 20 residents. And if a fire breaks, it will be difficult for you to move all the residents within time to a safe and secure place. That's why you're not supposed to be operating things like the washing machines and the dryers at night. It is illegal anyway to be operating those things at night. You check the chairs, you check the toilets, check that everything is clean, the dining halls, you check the whole home that it is clean and in good working order. So in this particular day when I was working night shift, around 7:30, one of the residents fell. And if a resident falls, guys, you have to make sure that you thoroughly do your paperwork, even if it's 7:30, because I've seen people have gotten in trouble because of lack of documentation. You have to do your falls assessment. If it's someone who's on blood thinners, you make sure that you send that person to hospital because of the likelihood of a bleed to the brain. They easily bleed. If it's an unwitnessed fall, you make sure that you commence your neurological observations, quarter hour for the first hour, half hour for the next hour, and so forth and so on. And you make sure that you do the skin checks, you thoroughly check them, make sure there are no fractures, nothing, because especially if you're dealing with elderly people, because they are very fragile. They are very fragile. Sometimes they might appear as if they're okay, and it has happened many times. They may appear as if they're okay, but they've got a bleed to the brain, and it's only discovered days later. And if you don't properly do your paperwork, like your neurological observations and everything, you'll get in trouble, because if they send that resident to the hospital and something happens to them, they come back and say, can we see the neurological observations that you did? Maybe if you have been doing your neurological observations, you're going to pick that this person has got probably a bleed to the brain, because after 12 hours of doing your neurological observations, they started becoming confused, and the GCS score, which is the Glasgow Coma Scale score, dropped from 15 to 12 or from 12 to 9, and you would have sent them to the hospital in good enough time. But if you did not do your neurological observations, how do you say, oh, the person was okay when there's no evidence? So it's important that you do your paperwork. Report to the trust if you're supposed to report to the trust. Do an incident report, update the care plan. If there's a DATEX system in your care home, wherever I work, you update the DATEX. You tell the relatives, you inform the relatives in good enough time. Tell the relatives in good enough time, and do your risk assessments and all those things. So the resident happened to fall around 7:30. In that particular point in time, I knew that I was going to delay going home. So the day staff, they came in, I gave them a handover. I remained behind doing all this documentation that I've listed. I have to make sure that I thoroughly document everything, because here in UK, it's very easy to lose your pin over small things. So I make sure I'd rather go home late doing my documentation. So I gave them the handover and everything, and I remained behind doing my documentation. After remaining behind doing my documentation, around 10 to 9, I was supposed to knock off at 7:45, right? Around 10 to 9, one of the cleaners comes to me and says, did you do your hourly checks last night? And I say, yes, we did our hourly checks. And for me, it's not even hourly checks. I can do checks every 30 minutes, to the point where I said I was actually reported for doing checks every 30 minutes and walking, trotting up and down throughout the night. Part of it was because of fear. What if I find someone not breathing? What if? So that's why I was checking constantly throughout the night. So I say, yes, we did our hourly checks throughout the night and everything. Then she says to me, did you see that room 2000, this toilet is not clean? I was like, no, when I last worked, I'm the one who actually attended to this resident, and the toilet was clean. And if it wasn't clean, I was going to clean it and leave it in order. Because guys, what you have to understand is, when you're working, it doesn't matter at any time of the night, any time of the day, any time of the night. The RQIA, those who come and check for the safety of the residents and everything, they can come in. CQC, RQIA, they can come in, and when they come in, They look at things like they look at the toilets, they look at the floors, they look at the commodes, they look at. So you have to make sure that your environment is clean all the time, not because of RQA, because the residents have to be in a clean environment. So I always make the point that okay, before I knock off, everything is in clean working order. So I had checked everything, and everything was in clean working order. So she says to me, come and see the toilet. Come and see the toilet is raided. I mean, this is 10 to 9. Anything could have happened between 7:45 and 10 to 9 when I was supposed to knock off. So I go to the toilet and the toilet was messed up. Messed up, I mean messed up, if you know what I mean. It was messed up. And when I saw that the toilet was messed up, I said, but in my mind, I'm saying, but this looks like it's fresh stool and everything. You know what I say to her? I say, you know what? If I had seen that the toilet is like this, I wasn't going to leave it like this. I was going to clean it. I am sorry. I had to apologize because I didn't want to have a back and forth argument. I am sorry that the toilet is in this state, but I'm going to make sure next time that before I knock off, before I give my handover, 5 minutes before handover, I will check all the toilets just to make sure that before I leave, all the toilets are clean. And I'll make sure that when I'm giving handover, I'll tell them that I've just checked all the toilets and I checked all the residents, because normally before I give my handover to the day staff who are coming in, I check all my residents that they're okay, they are well dressed, they are in bed or whatever. If they're gotten up in the morning, they're having their tea, they're sitting in their chair and everything. And guys, can you stop this habit of waking elderly people up in the morning, washing them and showering them at 6 in the morning because you want to help day staff? That is termed abuse. It is abuse. Put yourself in that person's shoes. Why would you want to be dragged out of bed at 6 a.m. so that you help day staff? If you are doing that, because I know most care homes do that. If you are doing that, it's very wrong. It's called abuse. So stop dragging people out of bed at 6 in the morning unless it's in their care plan and that is what they want. This habit of having 10 people up in the morning, it's wrong, and it will get you in trouble with RQIA. From experience, that would be a story for another day. Anyway, back to today's story. I went and sat down after apologizing and everything. I went and sat down and continued with my paperwork. But it seemed like she wasn't amused. She wasn't amused. I don't know what she wanted me to do. She started trotting up and down, complaining that the night staff, the night staff. I didn't pay attention. She came to me. She came to me where I was seated and came with a broom. She was banging the broom on the floor. I was like, if you had done your night checks, you are going to see that the toilet is dirty. If you're not sleeping at night, you're going to see that the toilet is dirty. Now I have to clean a dirty toilet. She was banging the broom in front of me, in my face. Normally when I work with people, I like working harmoniously. I like smiling. I was blessed with dimples, so I have to use them for smiling at people and being nice to people and all that. But I felt like, oh, you have crossed the line. So I got pissed off. Guys. I've not gone home. I'm still here at work. I'm doing my paperwork. It's 9 o'clock. I'm super sleepy. I'm supposed to be sleeping. You have come to me with a problem. I have apologized. I did not deny or shout or anything. I've apologized and acknowledged that there's a problem, and I've said to you, in future, this is what I'm going to do. But you're still coming to me and you're banging the broom in my face. I don't know whether that's meant to threaten me. You're banging the broom in my face and you are saying, if I had done my night checks and if I wasn't sleeping at night, I was going to realize that the toilet is dirty. First of all, I wasn't sleeping at night. Secondly, I done more than hourly checks. I did my checks almost every 30 minutes because of this fear, which is at the back of my head. So, this smiling face of mine, because I'm always smiling, this smiling, friendly face of mine changed. Excuse me. What did you just say to me? That was me. I was angry. what did you just say to me? And she said, if you had been doing your hourly checks and not sleeping at night, you're going to see that this toilet is dirty. I said, listen, can you take a look at me right now? Look at me. Which part of my body is written floor? Because as far as I'm concerned, you are the supervisor of other cleaners. You're not my supervisor. Where do you get off speaking to me like that? So now I changed my face, and I was now, because my face changes, I've got a smiley face and I've got now a serious face. Where do you get off talking to me like that? Where do you get off talking to me like that? Do I look like I'm part of the floor? Am I part of the floor that now you're coming to me and speaking to me like that? I'm not part of the floor, understand? And if you want to speak to me like that, let me tell you, I will show you the buttocks of his neck. So this is an expression which is used in my country where people say, I'll say it in my language, so and I don't think there's that saying in English, so I had to directly translate it to English so that I make it understand. And I said, I will show you the buttocks of a snake. That she was taken aback. What does this person mean? Is she going to show me the buttocks of a snake? What is she? I said, you have heard me right. Please don't talk to me like that, because I will show you the buttocks of a snake. So she walked away. She reported me. And I was called to the manager's office to explain what I meant by that. And there I was, seated in the manager's office, and the manager was looking me straight in the eye, asking me to explain what I meant by, I will show you the buttocks of a snake. And that was the moment I realized that, you know what, Pauline, when you came here to UK, you packed everything, but you forgot to pack your manners. You forgot to pack your manners. Guys, it's important that when you come here, you pack your manners, because ideally, if I was in my country and I was behaving like that, I was going to get away with it, because who cares about what I do? I used to work at the School of Nursing where people used to literally shout at each other and bite each other's heads off, and then everything will be normal. An hour later, no one reports anyone to anybody. But here I was in UK telling someone that I'm going to show you the buttocks of a snake, and that did not go down well with it. Of course, I did not like the way that she confronted me, but like I always said, like I've said in my other video, that people will come to you and deliberately poke you where the sun doesn't shine, and obviously expecting a reaction from you. So instead of you reacting, always be the bigger person, keep quiet or walk away, or wait for an opportunity when the person has calmed down and you call that person and talk to that person and say, and listen, I do not like the way that you're speaking to me because of ABCD. What I now make sure is that when I'm calling the next person, I'm either with another nurse or I'm with another manager or whatever, because if you're alone, you might be accused and say, oh, she did this to me and she did that to me. And guys, let me tell you something. When you come here to UK, you know, I always talk, this is a term that I use myself. When you come here to UK, you have to un-Africanize yourself. That is a term that I'm using, un-Africanize, because in our culture, in our African, most of us, when we come from Africa, if you want to prove a point, we raise our voices. We are not shouting, we are raising our voices to prove a point, and it is very normal in our culture. But if you come here to UK, if you raise your voice, you are shouting. There was a nurse who was sent to the NMC because of the chicken. She ordered chicken for lunch and she was given mince. That's not the specific diet that she ordered. She ordered chicken, she was given mince, and when she opened her food, it was mince, and she was not pleased with the mince. She went to the kitchen and said, but Abi, I said I want chicken and you have given me mince. The man who worked in the kitchen said she shouted at me. She wasn't shouting, she was raising her voice to express herself, because she wasn't happy, she was just expressing herself. But they said she was shouting. The care assistants who were there also begged the person up to say, oh, we all felt threatened. They sent her to NMC. Her case was sent to NMC. You understand? So there are certain things that you need to learn when you come here to UK. The way we behave in our countries is not the same way we can behave here. You cannot say whatever I used to saying. Because me, when I used to work at the School of Nursing, I would tell the students that I'll bite you, chew you, and spit you out, and would laugh about it. But you cannot say that here in the UK. I used to be referred to as the shark, and I'll just go there for an assessment and say, I'll bite you. And that would be normal. So imagine here in the UK, if I was to say to another colleague, I'll bite you, chew you, and spit you out. Obviously, that will get me in trouble. So when you come here to UK, pack your manners with you. Other than packing your manners with you, learn how people behave here in the UK. Learn how people behave wherever you are. Because how people behave in Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland is totally different. In our cultures, why am I saying un-Africanize yourself? In our cultures, when you're talking to an elderly person, you are not allowed to look at them in the eyes. But here, when you're talking to an elderly person, or when you're talking to anyone, if you look aside when they're talking to you, you are being rude, being very rude. So when you're talking to someone, whether it's your colleague, whether it's your manager or whatever, you look them in the eye. Even if you've got red eyes like me, you look them straight in the eye with your red eyes, because that is the norm here. It's a sign of respect. You understand? It shows that you are listening to the person. It shows that you're understanding the person. Not in my culture. You don't look at an elderly person in the eyes. You look aside when they're talking to you, or you look at the ground. Never ever make your eyes meet. Never ever make your eyes lock with an elderly person's eyes. But here in UK, you make sure that your eyes lock to show that you're listening. Otherwise, you'll be accused that as I was speaking, she was looking aside, as if what I was speaking was nonsense. Understand, guys? So there are a whole lot of things that you need to learn when you come here to UK. Bring your manners and learn how people behave here in UK, and learn what is termed good manners here in UK. People used to look at me when I go to the shops, when they ask me, do you want a plastic bag or do you want a carrier bag? And I say yes. That yes alone is not enough. So I realized that, when they ask other people who are here in Northern Ireland, do you want a carrier bag? They don't say yes, they say please. They respond by saying please. Do you want a carrier bag? Please. And that is a way of saying yes in a polite manner. But if I say yes, they look at me like, how rude. You understand? So learn, when you come to a new place, learn how they communicate, learn how they speak. Bring your manners, your good manners. Find out if the manners that you have from your country are good manners. Ask people who are here how they behave. What is the proper way to behave? What is the proper way to talk? Do you look people in the eyes? All those things, so that you don't find yourself seated before the NMC because you have said something that you're not supposed to say, or you've done something which you're not supposed to do. So guys, this is all that I wanted to share with you. Bring your manners when you're coming to UK. Even if you don't bring your egusi and your opono, it doesn't matter, because you can always get your egusi and your throw soup here in the UK. But your manners are important. Above everything else, your manners are important. If you read the NMC, if you read the people who have gone before the NMC, you discover that most of the time our attitudes, she behaved as if she didn't care, they get us in trouble. Even when I'm sure you've seen many times, she did not show remorse and all that. It's because of our whole demeanor, the way we behave, the way we respond, the way we talk. Sometimes it's considered rude and all that. So we have to make sure that when we come here, we revise the way we speak, we revise our manners, and we conform to the UK manners, or to the Northern Ireland manners, or the Wales or Scottish or England manners, so that you don't get yourself in trouble. Anyway, I was not in trouble for the expression that I used, that I'll show you the buttocks of her neck, but I was warned not to use such terms because I explained that, you know what, one, I was frustrated because I had not gone home. It was 9 o'clock and I was still writing the rest in notes. 2, I had apologized, and after apologizing, she still came and acted as if she was threatening me with a broom and banged it in front of my face. And then I got pissed off because I am a human being and I do get pissed off. After having apologized, the least that you could have done is, okay, next time just make sure that you check, and that's it. You understand, guys? So this is all that I wanted to share with you guys. So if you found this video to be helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so that you never miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.